And we are live and we are back.
Let's go.
I'm Cory,
I'm Jordan.
and this is the Cordan Full Effect podcast, and we are back.
Like we never left.
We are back like we never left. Episode
57.
57. Like, all right.
We started off with a bang. We just going,
Oh my
crazy out the
goodness.
rip.
Hey, we almost 100 episodes deep in total. Anyways, episode 57, your first time listening. I don't know when we started this, but we always do a popular athlete. And from Bleacher Report, it says episode 57, the most popular athlete to wear number 57 is Francisco Rodriguez, Major League Baseball. If you don't know baseball and hockey, Jordan doesn't know anything if it's not basketball, football. Baseball, baseball, I know a little bit. Hockey, if it's not Sidney Crosby, Alex Ovechkin, or Wayne Gretzky, I'm not going to know who they are. Anyways, though, this is a relief pitcher, Francisco Rodriguez. He began his career with the Angels of Anaheim, and they won the 2002 World Series. Since then, he's four-time All-Star and has been the AL Saves champion 3 times, the Relief Man of the Year 2 times, and he holds a Major League Baseball record. Oh, most saves in a season. The second person was Clay Matthews. So you know who Clay Matthews is? Wait, is this Clay? No, it's Clay Matthews Jr., the one that was on the Packers. For those who don't know, because no, George, saves is when the pitcher comes in, they save the game. Okay, and then
Thank you for that clarification. I don't know what you talking about, but all right, it's got to be
relief man of the year is when they come in, and relieve the starting pitcher. So in short, what happens is, let's say as a pitcher, when I get taken out the game, and how baseball calculates the stats, I could be wrong. I need to hit up my friends from high school. But as a pitcher, I'm winning the game, right? But say I get pulled as a starter, if I'm still winning the game, and then the relief pitcher comes in and ends up losing the game, so the score flips, and now we're losing. I don't believe the starting pitcher takes that L, or maybe they still do, but like the relief pitcher takes that L too. Like it's like you double up on the L's. So that's why when you come in like Mariano Rivera, he comes in and he closes the game, right? They got to make sure they secure that win.
Take that L though, but like, aren't they all on the same team? You either win or lose, don't you? Like, what?
I could be. They might both take the L, but I know that can happen sometimes where, like, as a pitcher, I'm up, right, and then another pitcher comes in, and then whatever happens is his fault because he pitches the ball. We losing, and then those W's and L's get calculated a little bit differently that way. But hey, I want to be clear. Shout out to baseball. Not the only sport, but out of the 4 major sports in America, no time limit. So literally, baseball is talk to me at the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. That's when the game can go on forever from then. So although the first 26 outs are irrelevant, but that's neither here nor there. All right, do you have anything else for Mr. Francisco Rodriguez?
No, congratulations to you, sir. Look at that. That's all I got.
Okay, put it like this. We the next few athletes are football players, so we should be good. We should be good to go.
There we go. Lock back in.
Oh, my goodness. All right. But again, Jordan, what do we talk about on this podcast?
For our first time listeners, we talk about finances and
fitness
and health and
wealth
and everything in between.
We want to make sure you save more and say less.
And keep making better your best.
Yes. As a disclaimer, don't sue us, sue your mama. All information on here is for entertainment purposes only. Jordan is not a fitness expert unless you sign that FinallyFit contract. And I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do your own research. Any advice you hear on here is not advice. It is for entertainment purposes only. And yes, if you've been listening to this, we have still yet to read the disclaimer from our lawyer. Again, we read it like one time. But we will promise we will get back to that.
I think it might have been like twice. It might have been like verbatim.
We read it twice in this because we've been used to record twice in one day. So we read it, you know what I mean? Like we read it twice in one day. It was one set of recordings.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness. All right.
She's probably laughing at us too.
I know. Look, I'll be laughing at us too.
Before we get into the airs, if you are listening to this, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Please rate, review, all of that. You can find us on every major podcast platform. If you listen to your podcast there, type in Coordinate Full Effect. That's where you can check us out. Okay. If you're looking for our email, coordinatefulleffect@gmail.com. Put us in your group chat. Send us to your friends. We want all the smoke. Okay. We on StreamYard now, so if y'all want to come in here and y'all want to talk that stuff, we will send you the link, okay? But then I'll just say, as Cory stated, this is entertainment purposes only, all that good, great stuff from their disclaimer, but please share us with your friends. We want to hear your feedback, okay? All right.
Alrighty. Yeah, here we go. I thought the air cleanup was a banner like this, but it was a ticker. That's why I clicked off. And it don't matter. So do you have any do you have any errors?
Do I have them? Probably. Do I have
Probably,
any
yeah.
to actually clean up? No, sorry, I do
Nah,
not.
yeah. But like this, I gotta start. I'm almost 30 Wealth Wednesdays in. I gotta start going back listening to those. I know I messed up on some of those. I was watching the student loan one, and I said that I looked up like share my screen. University of Miami was trying to figure out the tuition, and there's a University of Miami in Ohio. Shout out to Big Ben Roethlisberger. That's where he went. And I was sharing that. And I didn't catch it on there, but fortunately, the University of Miami, Florida, it was on there like on the Google, like side things for common searches. And that tuition was up there and it was way more than Miami of Ohio's tuition was like $13K and Miami, Florida is like $57K a year. So significantly different. Shout out to Google
for talking hurricanes, not Ohio. I got you. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So if you watch the YouTube video, you can see it, but if you listen on, if you listen to audio podcast platforms, you can't. But I'm pretty sure I messed up a lot on those. But it's so much content to go back and look at. Shout out to the did you end up watching that? It's okay if you didn't because it was 4 hours. But did you end up? Nah, you're good. All right. So here's a fun fact. Do you know who has the most student loan debt out of people with kids, couples, people who are married without kids, or single people with no kids? Who do you think has the most student loan debt if you were to rank those three?
Single people with no kids?
No. They're in the middle. Married people with no kids have the most student loan debt.
Wow. Well, that makes sense, though. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No.
I was like, because everything's dual income, no kids. I was like, I got the most money. So what's going on?
Now you can keep it. No, what I'm saying is because we have a conversation. Speaking of Jakai, what are they spending? What are you spending your money on if you got no kids?
Right.
What are you spending the money on? If you're single, you can say because you need two incomes now. I got you if single was number one with no kids. You can say it's hard for one person. But if you're married and you have no kids, where's your money going?
You know what it is? They got the income, so they out here spending a bigger bag. You know what I mean? Right. But not on the right stuff. You know what I mean? So,
right. Well, shout out to discipline. But how about that? And it was sort of saying like, but this thing is like, so if you're married and you have a lot of student loan debt but no kids, based off that data, that's not how it works. But have kids, so your student loan debt will go down. That's what the data you'll be at a better chance. It didn't say this in the data, but what I think is that people who don't have kids and are married, what they likely did is they delayed having children. So like they might not have kids yet, right? Like there's no when do they transition? Or they continue to further their education, master's and doctorate, thus have more student loan debt and no kids, as a fact of not going, as continuing to go to school. It didn't say that, but that has to be the answer. But if it's sitting here but also too, in short, as you increase your education, you make more money. And I don't know what the data is, but my guess is married people with kids make the most amount of money out of everybody. I mean, that would just the people with the most expenses hopefully have the highest income, regardless of what your debt is, but just straight up income. So it's like you need a lot. You need a lot of database lookups to sort of figure out how that came about. But there was some stuff on there. I figured out the reason Black people have all the student loan debt is because we choose all degrees where they don't make any money. Even when we choose the higher degree paying fields, we still choose, they call detailed fields, it's like more explicitly the track. We still choose the lower paying parts of the higher degree.
Yeah, I can see that.
My goodness. It was bad, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Maybe not. That's lower barrier of entry.
Lower barrier in the fields?
Yeah, so even when you get to like the STEMs, right? If you pick the common job in the STEM field, it's lower barrier. It's the one where it's like it's the cert, right? Where you get the one cert that gets you 60% of the job. Everybody know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You get your security plus, right? That's your 8570 compliance for the DoD government. Look, I ain't about to get into the details.
Nah, I got you. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was that, and also too, we dominate the lower ones. So 20%. And also, it was some crazy stuff towards like the end, like the first 2 hours of it. But towards the end, I found out that there's a lot of articles. Only 1% of Black. So this is the current events. We're gonna talk about Super Bowl. But I found out it said that 1% of degrees Black people get, and I'm like, whole time, the data starts getting worse. But it's not conflicting, but it don't make sense. If we get 1% of all the degrees, how do we have the most debt? It starts getting significantly out of control. It gets starting what? And 20%, I think 18%, but 20% of people get STEM degrees, which is a lot to me.
Right. Right.
For black people, it was 7%. And it's like, okay, so we're a third of that, but our 20% is like community organization and like some social work. I don't even know what community organization is. And I made the joke. I said on there, if Martin Luther King didn't get a community organization degree, you don't need money. Because I'm thinking, I'm like, I mean, a community organizer got to be that sounds like a civil rights type of track. I mean, what are you organizing in the community? But so if Martin and Malcolm, if none of the civil rights people got it, then you played yourself.
You know what that degree is? Look, the
lie. There you go.
It was on a
shout out to anybody who has that degree. Please come on here live and tell us what you do, because we don't know.
I end up looking it up on there. It's in that like the social work field. But guess what? At the end of the day, they don't make no money, and it's very simple. Yes, we had the most student loan debt, but at the end of the day, look at the degrees, right? Because all degrees cost the same. We talk about student loans all the time, but I'm just saying. I was just looking at that because that's I was getting to, and I was like, these stats is crazy. But that one where if you married and have no kids, you got the most student loan debt at everybody. That dumbfounded me. Dumbfounded me. Yeah.
But once I thought about it, I was like, no.
They should have the least amount.
Right. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, that article was crazy. That article about that was crazy. But all right, we always talk about student loans. That student loans is de facto. Let me see if I still got a banner up here. I'm not taking it. I got student loans. No, I got it on my Wealth Wednesday one. Student loans ? Is it de facto? Well, put like this: 2 weeks from today, it'll be February 26th, and then what is it? Then
the clock is on, right?
Yeah, it's on the Supreme Court. It's about to they about to be in full effect. But all right, current events. So 2 weeks ago, Jordan made his Super Bowl appearance picks. So conference championship picks. Jordan was like, let the people know who you picked.
I should have put some money down because I was 2 for 2. Okay, I said the Chiefs would overcome the Bengals, and they did. And I also said that the Eagles would clear the 49ers, and they beat them like they stole something.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was 2 for 2. Like I said, I should have put some money. You sign up for, what is it, for DraftKings, you get that free money. You know what I'm saying? I should have bet the free money. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't believe in spending my money on that. I'm gonna let y'all know. That's a whole nother, we'll get to that another day. But
shout out to gambling.
Look, that's a deep hole that you can fall down real fast. All right, but
yeah. I was 1 for 2. I picked the Eagles. I called the Eagles beating. You said the Eagles gonna beat the 49ers. I said they're gonna beat the brakes. I said they're gonna beat the brakes off them, and they did. And I didn't think you can predict 2 quarterbacks getting hurt, and they down to whatever the hell they was. Whatever they.
Hold on. So Purdy is already third, right?
He's third string.
He's third. I'm sorry, third. Yeah. So and then he got hurt. Then they brought in fourth. Fourth got a concussion. Then they brought it's bad when they about to put. They started considering putting McCaffrey at quarterback. All right, mind you, he was the only one doing something, so what's about to happen. But
yeah. Well, I mean, what I would have done, I would just ran Wildcat. Like I wouldn't even. I'm gonna come in with a heavy formation, and we about to run the ball because I'm not about to pass. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to pass the ball.
It wasn't working anyway. So
it's unfortunate with injuries like that. Let me get both your quarter. I mean, they already had their first and their second string was already hurt. Purdy was able to come through in the season and get him to the championship, the conference championship. But my goodness, you get 4 quarterbacks hurt in one season. I would say
looking real bad out there.
Yeah, but
that's when you start turning around on the bench, like, which one of my receivers can throw? Like, you know what I'm saying? Look at
which one of y'all play? And you wonder why they draft quarterbacks in college and put them at receiver. You might as well.
Yep.
Or the kickers, punters sometimes have played high school quarterback sometimes as well. But and then obviously I picked the Bengals. However, I did have a significant caveat. Patrick Mahomes was hurt. I don't work for the Chiefs. I didn't know his status. I also did say I've never picked against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs unless he was playing against Tom Brady. I should have listened to myself because it's I
like how when Cory's been wrong, he tried to explain how he was right.
Hey, you know how I be. Yeah, you know how I be. Hey, I got it on wax. So my picks this year were Chiefs versus Bucks. That was my picks. I don't pick against Tom or Patrick. I should have just stuck with that. You know what I mean? I would have been 2 for 2. Regardless, because I'm gonna just so Jordan can't hedge my bets since he was 2-0 last week or 2 weeks ago. Here's the issue: if you win the MVP, you usually don't win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes won the MVP. I'm at such a confliction. It's not fair. It's not. I don't know the last MVP that won Super Bowl. When Tom Brady won his MVP, they lost to the Eagles that year. When Cam won his, they lost. When Patrick won his MVP, he didn't get to Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Who won? Aaron Rodgers won it last year. So it usually doesn't work that way.
I'm gonna put it like this.
I'm still picking the Chiefs. I'm picking the Chiefs. You go ahead.
You said,
I'm not gonna pick against Patrick. I'm not gonna pick against him.
Listen. You
gonna pick the Eagles.
You like it. The Eagles been, and I. Let me just say this: I am a Commanders fan, right? So by innate, you know what I mean, instinct, I am supposed to root against the Eagles just because they're NFC East, and we don't want, we can't get it. We don't want nobody in our division get it, right? But they've been flying high all year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
they've been the best team all year. Yeah.
Which is I don't want to say it's crazy, but it's like that, you know what I mean? Like, to consistently to be at the top and stay at the top all the way through the year. It's like now you're going to show up and handle business, right? Like, and I'm saying that to say, like, stuff can happen, right? What is it? I forgot the name of the law. What can go wrong will go wrong. You know what I'm talking about? Murphy's Law?
Yeah, Murphy's Law.
Yeah. Thank you. Look at that. My brain actually working when it's supposed to. All right. Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. But the Eagles, from a numbers perspective, stats wise, they've been crushing it all year. So if Jalen Hurts shows up and handles business, they're gonna do what they need to do, and they're gonna come home with that ring. That's all I'm gonna say. So I gotta go Eagles over Chiefs. Look, shout out to that script that leaked 37-34. Look at it.
That's what I was gonna say. Now I got my, we'll see if is the whole script, meaning like that's what, because they had a quarter breakdown too. Like that's very explicit. So you'll know at the first quarter or not if it's sticking to the script. Right. And versus, if the score just ends that way. But in short, I think the Chiefs supposed to be up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. I think that was at the quarter breakdown it was. And the Eagles come back. So if the Chiefs not winning at all, then we see. But yeah, that fact that the MVPs don't usually win Super Bowl, it's not fair. It's not, I'm in a conundrum. But I'm gonna stick with Chiefs. But that's the thing. I didn't even wear the shirt on purpose. But I'm a Chargers fan. I got it on here. You see it? I'm a Chargers fan. Can you see it? It's not on there.
Yeah.
You can see it a little bit. Yeah, it's messed up. But I got to play Patrick Mahomes twice a year as a fan. Just submit to the will.
At least y'all got some type of consistency that we don't never know what's going to happen in our games, bro. Everything from the organization to the coaching to the players to whoever you decide to start this week is just all up in the air with the Commanders. Like, I ain't about to, like, I don't even know, you know what I'm saying, what kind of level of bad to expect when we show up on Sunday sometimes. So it's bad. But saying all to say, I've been a fan my whole life. Going on 30 this year, still gonna be a fan. You know what I mean? It's one of those things we've become accustomed to losing. So when we have a decent season, I mean, I will say the Eagles, I'm never gonna let them live it down. If the Eagles do win this year, they did take their first L to the Commanders. That's all I'm saying.
Just like a Commanders fan, when the Giants beat the Patriots their undefeated season, guess what the Commanders said? Oh, we beat the Giants this year. It's not right for season. It doesn't work that way.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
That's what y'all do.
Listen, what is the dang, I'm breaking out all my laws today. What's the law? If A
community property, A plus B. If A is greater than B and B is greater than C, B is greater than C.
A is greater than C.
Community. I think that's community. I can't remember which one.
I was like, look, so if they win the Super Bowl, technically we have all won the Super Bowl because we won. We have beaten them before. You know what I'm saying? So we beat the Super Bowl team. Therefore, we're Super Bowl champions too. That's how I'm gonna live it. I'm gonna live my truth today. All right. All right. We good?
It's not community property. I think it's associative.
Associative? It's commutative, associative, and transitive, right? Those are the three, right? The three major.
No. Hold on. Let's be clear. I ain't done that in a long time. Associative property, which means that rearranging the parentheses. Okay, it's neither of those. It must be transitive. Okay. We're gonna figure this out because we be talking too much stuff on here. Remember, I pulled up the protract with the degrees. Transit property. If two quantities are equal to the third quantity, then we can say that all quantities. I think that's it. I think it's transitive. Okay.
That's got to be one of them sub bullets under transitive.
Yeah. I want to be very, very clear. I didn't take pre-algebra. I was so good at math, I skipped the math class. There are some things that I did not learn in some of these classes. And I remember I was in Avid, and if y'all know what that is, it's just a class to help your organization. Anyways, I was in that middle school, and I was in like the higher math class, and the kids were learning some different stuff. In the lower one, I'm like, why didn't I just skip this? But I mean. They were learning more foundational things where I skipped, I've taken the higher 6th grade math and I just take algebra, and it's like I never took pre-algebra. So if you learn something in pre-algebra that you don't learn in other classes, I did not learn it. I just like to make that clear. I just like to make it clear because when you take the SAT, it'd be pre-algebra stuff on there.
It'd be everything on there. It'd be
everything. And mind you, I'm taking as a junior in high school. I took algebra in 7th grade. This I'm at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And that's anyways. That's like one of those things. You study for the test. You study for the test because what?
Hey, shout out to Bowie State not requiring high SAT.
Oh no,
bro! Oh my goodness! As in the words Isaiah Thomas, I had the qualifications. We said I met the standard, so I'm Hey, I got my comp sci degree. Jordan did too. We got it in 4 years, so we're good. 8 semesters. We're good. We're good. Oh my goodness! All right, locked and loaded.
Good.
Yeah, we got to. For those of y'all don't know, we're always on a schedule, but we're on the actual schedule today. Jordan has to do stuff, and I gotta go watch Super Bowl. All right.
Somewhere far away from where he is right now.
I gotta drive 2 hours to watch something before 6:30. So, all right, here we go. On to the
fitness section.
Let's go.
We in there. You're on mute.
All righty, first fitness. I've already done it. I've already recorded 30 minutes on mute. So you know me. The issue is my mic still picks it up. You know what I mean? Like all the mic technology. So whatever. First fitness question. How does your form impact your workouts? And what are some ways to sharpen your form? George's gonna work on sharpening your form.
Sharpening your form. All right. This is a great question. As we continue, first of all, shout out to the Fit fam. Y'all know I'm always give y'all love. Finally Fit. We out here. We working. We doing what we do. Shout out to all of our participants to the 120 miles and 120 days challenge. We are now at the time of recording. It's February 12th. So you need to be approximately 43 miles in. If you're not at 43 miles, you need to get out. You need to move. All right. Unless it's cold, like Cory be saying, and he just gonna get all his miles on the back end. It is okay. It's all right. Okay. But we just need you to move. Again, the whole point of the challenge is just to encourage healthy lifestyle habits. So, Cory, we're gonna start it off like this. How does form impact workouts? What is form, Cory? And I always ask Cory these questions because Cory is my guy. First of all, we've been doing this for a long time. Look, in my Drake voice. Anyway.
What is that? What is that? What is that? That's Drake. What did Drake do to that?
My brother's industry.
Okay, I'm a huge Drake fan. We'll tell you
when the song cuts and he's like rapping, my brother's man, you ain't no kin to me. I rap, and then it cuts and he says, "I've been doing this for a long time." No,
but he does in a high pitched voice.
Yeah, it's not him, but it's somebody else. It's not Drake, but it's on a Drake track.
I got you because he is an actor.
Okay.
We're good. Okay, we're getting distracted.
Anyways, sure. We get a sidebar for the sidebar. Anyways, and I'm so okay. Bring it back. Hold on. Look.
Want it. Look, all right. First fitness question. It's like, go ahead.
Okay. All right, Cory. What is form?
Form, aka your technique, is the method in which you use to do whatever the particular exercise is. Look, and then your proper.
No, you got keep going.
I say proper form or proper technique is the way to make sure you execute the exercise in a way that targets the particular muscles that you want to target, and you don't target the muscles you don't want to target. And then I would say most importantly, you don't hurt yourself. I don't know if y'all be seeing these. If you follow the fitness stuff like Jordan and I do, people be in the gym, and I be wanting to post them, but I don't because I know they be getting seriously hurt. But I have seen some stuff on the internet. This one guy was doing, I don't know what I think he was trying to do a power clean because he messed up, but some type of power clean type of thing with the bar. And shout out to physics. We taught all these laws. Force equals mass times acceleration. Every time I watch these videos, I'd be like, y'all didn't take physics.
It's
crazy. The force that came down, he tried to clean it or whatever because he didn't really complete it. Then his face hits the ground, but like all the weight, all the force. I'm just like, my goodness. And shout out to people who spot with 300-400, no spotter. I mean, with 300-400 pounds, y'all crazy. If y'all just trying to work out to be healthy, I don't know why you do that. If you're trying to do it from a professional standpoint, you should be a professional and actually have a spotter.
Yeah.
But yeah, your form or your technique is how you're supposed to execute the exercise, and then proper form or technique is going to make sure you target the right muscles / don't target the wrong ones, and then most importantly, you don't want to hurt yourself because people have died from doing something improper when it comes to their form.
Listen, hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Hey, good job.
Yeah. Let's be very clear. The sideline comes from the fact that I didn't start. I played sport. It is a fitness, sport activity, right?
Listen, you've been putting in the work.
You know me. If I know a little bit, I'm gonna get the answer right. What did he just say? He said, if I know a little bit, I'm gonna get the answer right.
You know what's crazy? I've been around long enough. It's true. So, okay, so I'm gonna tell the story because I'm never gonna let this go. All right, Cory and I took the same class. All right, and had the same answers. But Cory always had a higher grade than me on the questions, and I never understood it. It's like that's what I mean by say it again, Cory.
I made it up. As first time I said it, if I know a little bit of information, I'm gonna get the right answer.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's like, bro, we got the same information, but bro always had an 85 and I had like a 78. Like, what are we doing? Like, it's and it was and let me be very clear for people out here talking about integrity. No, it was not verbatim the same answers, and that's probably where I lost points. But it's like I don't understand how you lose points on transitions, like or prepositional phrases like the, of, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? Those are the only different words. Like, what? The content is the same. Like, what? Clearly, I'm writing too much.
Language is key. I was telling my wife, I was telling her that about in 495 where we had to do that project in the year for some technology, and I did everything the first the 2 hours right before class it was due that day, and I got the highest grade out of everybody, and I just showed up and just like, yeah, this is what I got. And then when we get the grades back, I got the highest grade. Jordan, by the way, had on a suit, a briefcase, everything came in.
Bruh. Yeah, you had to put my suit in there, yo. We had what was it? Was it business Wednesdays, right?
The seminar. It was seminar.
Yeah. Okay, so we had no. That's the class. I'm talking about we had like business Wednesdays. That's why I came for. Every Wednesday, right? Especially at senior year, right? So I wore a suit every Wednesday because I was trying to, I was like, oh, my field, I'm gonna have to wear. First of all, it's not like that at all. For anybody who works in tech, we wear jeans and polos in tech. Like that, and to me, that's a high end. Like I might go in there join the hoodie now. Like, you know what I'm saying?
If you work from home and no cameras on like me, I'm in sweats and all day. I'm in pajamas all day.
Listen, it's one of those type of things, right? So what you think about tech and what actually happens in tech is two totally different things. First of all, I know we getting sidetracked. We on a sidebar from our sidebar at this point.
Okay, go ahead. This is our show. Skip ahead.
But yeah, I used to wear a suit every business Wednesday because I was like, oh, I gotta, you know what I mean? I gotta look the part for how I want to be in my industry, right? So I was dressed to impress. I think I had a little brown suit on, little color coordinated tie with the handkerchief. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was fly. They were slim cut suits. I wasn't slim, but hey, it worked. You know what I'm saying? At the time, you know what I mean? And like, I ain't always look like this. But saying all that to say, yeah, Cory came in there. I think I passed Cory while he was working on it 2 hours before class, and my man's made like y'all ever played what's that joint like?
I didn't know if he was gonna tell him what I did. I don't know if he's gonna tell him what I did. It was more like Mario. We gotta go across and you hit the flag, Super Mario Bros. But what I did, y'all, is I just made rectangle blocks as platforms, and I made squares as the good guy and the bad guy. And then there was some janky trophy.
Different colors.
Yeah. And they were different. You gotta know. You gotta one red, one blue. And I just went across and completed it. And I got 95 out of 100.
Listen. And my man was working on I kid you not, 2 hours before. I'm like, bro, what you doing? He's like, I'm doing the work. Oh, okay. I mean, all right. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 95. Yeah. And bro, chilling.
I was gonna say, but speaking of your attire, so this is, it was first semester, so it's it's cold. At this time of year, because in the semester. So me, I got on my North Face, I got on some sweats, I got my flip flops. I'm coming as in college. I'm wearing the same. I didn't stay on campus either. I'm wearing the same thing every day. Let's be very clear. I'm chilling. Look, state race don't have to get ready. It's not. I don't do that dress up type of stuff. So I'm in my mode. And me, when people ask questions, I tell everybody, don't ask me no hard questions. First off, don't. You know me. I'll confront you before I go. Second thing, I'm just gonna tell you why. I'm not gonna act like I know the answer. If you ask me a question, I'll be like, I don't know that.
What am I really getting to? We're like, oh, what is it? I don't know.
I didn't find that. I think the one thing I did was some nanotechnology stuff. I was like, this is some stuff I found. I don't know what this is. Look.
Oh gosh, yeah, bro. Shout out to Cory, man. Cory, he be making it do, and he's the definition of making it do what it do. All right,
success is finite. Did you win or lose? Super Bowl coming on the day. Let me be very clear. It don't matter how. Let's be very clear. It don't matter how they get it done. You just want to be on the side that win the game, and that's how I look at life. That's how I look at life.
You got a ring or you didn't.
Hey, if you take an L but got the best stats, you took your L, so you took L to me. All right, rewind. We got rewind.
Okay.
All right, lock and loaded.
Okay, go ahead. All right, so thank you, Corey. Shout out to Corey for that.
Shout out to my forum. Shout out to my forum answer.
I appreciate that answer. It was great. I'd like to think that I had something to do with that, but like I said, I know you've been doing this for a long time yourself, so I know you got some knowledge in there when it comes to this fitness stuff. But yes,
real quick, you want to avoid muscular imbalance.
Look. Yeah, that you out here talking about the muscular imbalance. Oh gosh, what are the muscle groups, Corey? The 3 types of muscles. Did we talk about that?
See, this one I just said this. I don't know. Don't get disrespectful. Don't do that.
No, we good. Okay, all right. I thought
I'm going on mute. All
right. Okay. Yeah. So just to elaborate on what Corey was talking about, yes. So we were talking about what form is. It is exactly what he said. It is a technique in which a exercise is executed. Okay. So run that back one more time. Form is the technique in which an exercise is executed. Okay. Super important, right? Because it actually does impact a variety of things. But one of the most important things in which you're probably doing the workout is the gains. It impacts the gains. Okay. If you do not have correct form, you can do a lot of things. I mean, we're gonna get into the details, right? But ultimately, you may not get the desired result. And it's like, so that's what makes it, when we start talking about elevation, that's what makes it important, right? Proper form, proper gains. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the only thing that contributes to gains, but I mean, it's one of the main things, right? You're going to exercise. You want to make sure you get the desired result. But ultimately, we're going to talk about how does form impact workouts. I got a couple of points here. I'm going to roll through real quick. Corey already touched on a couple, so I'm not going to harp on those too much, but we got some other things to add in addition to that. All right. I think I got like 4 or 5 quick ones we're going to run through. All right. First one, as Corey said, it targets the right muscle groups. Correct form ensures that you are engaging the right muscle groups for each exercise rather than relying on momentum or other muscles to complete the movement. And as Corey also mentioned, if you don't have correct form, it can cause a muscular imbalance. Fill me in, Corey. What's a muscular imbalance? If you don't know this, okay.
I don't know the technical term, but it's when you're it's in the statement.
Look, you shoot at the hip. It's okay. Go ahead.
Hey, one side might be stronger than the other. That's usually look like. So your left side might be stronger than your right side, or vice versa.
Yeah. So more or less, you like 95% of it, right? So literally, it might not even necessarily be stronger, just other muscles compensating for the other one, right? So
that's how I got my 95, by the way. I only need to be 95%.
It's either, like you said, 7 out of 8 points is 7 out of 8 points. You know what I'm saying? That's another pass. They don't care. Look at that. We don't care. We're not playing. Okay. Okay. Bringing it back out because we get sidetracked real quick. Yeah, so you want to make sure you're targeting the right muscle groups. You don't want to cause a muscular imbalance. So that is one major reason that form is important. Muscular imbalances can cause you to strengthen support muscles. So I didn't go through the types of muscles, but you got synergist, prime mover, and then you have synergist, prime movers. I'm missing one. Synergists are the balance one. Prime movers are the ones that generate force. And there's another one that does like the in-between functions. Anyways, I'll clean that up in the next Eric section because I should know that off the top of my head. I know it. The word is escaping me. Anyways, point being, if you don't use the right muscles when you're performing an action, your prime movers can basically your muscles that are involved in action can actually swap groups, right? So perfect example, bench press, right? When you're doing your bench press, your chest as well as your triceps are main movements in your bench press, right? If you do not have proper form in executing the technique, you can actually shift the load to biceps. You can shift the load to shoulders if you decide to, go off track for what's considered. So actually, when you bench press, you're supposed to use what we call a radial arc. So it starts at the chest and actually ends when you're at your height. It ends up at your nose. I'm doing this like people can see me. Shout out to people who are actually going to watch this video, but I am doing the arm motion. For people on audio, just stay with me, all right? So if you move from your chest to your nose, it's a radial motion, right? So you're actually coming up, and then when you come back down, you come back down to your chest. That's optimal motion. A lot of people try to go straight up, and when you do that, what you don't realize is when you're laying on your back, you're actually at an angle, causing more direct stress on the synergist muscle groups as opposed to the prime mover muscle groups, right? So ultimately what you're doing is you are causing that muscular imbalance, and you're causing the muscles that are supposed to be supporting the function to become the muscles that are moving the function, and that's not what you want to do. So saying all that, that is why form is important. You want to make sure that you're targeting the desired muscle groups. And it's not saying that you don't want to strengthen the supporting muscle groups as well. It's just that you want to make sure that the main thing is the main thing, right? When you get out there, you're doing chest day, you want to make sure that you're working the chest muscles mostly, right? So when we do splits, that's what you call when you're breaking down your workout and you're trying to determine like what muscle group you're actually trying to target that day. That's called a split, right? When you're selecting your split, you want to make sure that split is targeting 75% of that muscle group, right? That's how I kind of break it down for the day, right? So there's nothing wrong with doing supporting muscle groups, but you want to make sure that 75% of the work that you're doing is targeting that desired area. So chest day, we're getting it in incline, we're getting it on flat bench, we're getting it on decline. But again, see how all those are chest related. We did our pec flies in. We working the medium, the inner portion of your chest, right? We're doing push-ups. You know what I'm saying? So you're attacking the chest muscles from all possible angles to make sure that 75% of the work goes to the chest. Now, and executing those exercises, executing all the different types of bench. So if you don't know, when I said incline, regular bench, and then decline, those are literally just all the different angles of bench press, right? It just depends on how you elevate the seat. When you're executing those, you're still working your chest, but you're just working it from different angles. So you're working the top, the middle, and lower portion of the chest. People don't know that your pectoral muscle, other than your legs, your pecs are pretty much the second biggest. Your chest is the second biggest muscle group. You know what I mean? Area that you need to work, and so you have to hit it from multiple angles to ensure. I know particularly for guys, right? You get that rounded chest shape. A lot of people only do flat bench. And that usually leads to it leads to more of like a V shape versus a U, right? You have to hit it from all angles in order to get the desired output. And a lot of people don't realize that. They don't spend enough time in the gym. They're like, oh, I'm gonna hit my my 5 sets on the flat bench, and they out. You know what I'm saying? And they don't get the full definition in that muscle, right? So it's important to hit it from the middle, hit it from the top, hit it from the back. Pause. That's what she said. Anyways.
Why you being weird to me?
Anyways.
Oh no! Oh no! You can leave from the back.
Listen.
Oh my goodness! Let's be clear. Sex. But we've talked about this. One of the best forms of exercise, if not the best, is sex. Let's be very clear. Some of y'all look like that because you. Never mind.
Oh man.
I'm joking. Go ahead, Jordan.
I hit the button and didn't even listen. Shout out to me not getting all the soundboard things. Let me figure that out. I keep saying that. I wanted the CJ. Oh, here we go again. All right. Anyways, I'm doing my own sound effects today. Bringing it back. Form is important to make sure we target the muscle group. So that's the right muscle group. So that's wrapping up that first point. Getting into the second point. It increases efficiency if you execute the exercise correctly, right? So one of the main reasons, again, we were talking about forms, is gains. You want to make sure that you're increasing your efficiency when doing the exercise. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you're, again, hitting the right muscle group, but able to push yourself so you can do the exercise more effectively, right? The only way you're going to get stronger, again, I already used chest. Let's go to squats. We're working on legs now, right? Let's say I want to strengthen my legs and get better at it. The only way I'm going to do it correctly, or the only way I'm going to get to a point where I'm lifting more weight is to execute said form correctly, right? And squats, I mean, for people who don't know, legs in general, first of all, are the biggest muscle group in your body. So if you didn't know, lower body is a mountain to climb in itself. And that's because when you engage in your lower body, you usually have to use more than just your legs to make sure that you're working those muscles correctly. So that usually includes core, sometimes back, lower back, yeah, it's a combination of effects, right? Because when you put the weight at, it's usually not on your legs, it's somewhere else. So just think about it. And perfect example are squats, right? When you're doing barbell squats, I'm talking about traditional back, barbell squats. You put the weight on your back, right? So just off jump, when you lift the weight off the bar, you've already engaged your core, upper back, lower back. You know what I'm saying? That's before you even drop down to do the motion to execute correctly, right? So I just named 3 areas that are impacted other than your lower body before you get to the lower body portion of the exercise. So that is why form is super, super important, because ultimately, remember, you want to hit the desired muscle group. It's not back day when I'm doing squats. You know what I'm saying? It's lower body day. However, if I do them incorrectly, you will instantly switch your synergist muscle, which are your back in that case, to your prime mover. It's very easy to get the slightest improper technique can cause you to start using muscles that you aren't supposed to use, or that aren't supposed to be the prime movers in that exercise as prime movers, right? Perfect example, in your barbell squat, since I'm already using this example, a lot of people, when they put weight on the bar in an attempt to jump too quickly, or without having proper technique, they'll put too much weight on the bar and they'll start to hinge at the waist while dropping down into the lower portion of the squat position, right? That instantly starts to make the back the prime mover portion of the exercise versus the quads and glutes, right? So if you didn't know, you're supposed to be focusing on if you haven't done a conventional barbell squat before, you're supposed to be using your quads, your glutes, hamstrings, and driving up, right? Driving up. So you're dropping the weight down under control, keeping that chest up, tightening that core. You want to see a C motion kind of in the back. Like you don't want to overarch, but you do want to have enough where when you drop down, the weight is still stable, right? So again, the opposite of what I was saying when you're doing improper technique. You don't want to hinge forward. You almost want to keep straight up. I don't even want to say hinge backwards because you don't want the weight to fall off either. But you want to drop down, keep the weight in line with over your toes, all right? So if you're looking, you shouldn't be looking down either. Again, that'll throw your weight off. But if you got your feet in the proper spot, your chest should actually stay in line over top of your knees and toes. So what we call that is the kinetic chain. Look, I'm using my fitness stuff now. So we call that the kinetic chain. So head, neck, shoulders, pelvic hip complex, knees, ankles, and feet are all a part of your kinetic chain. Your kinetic chain is actually supposed to be aligned when you do a squat. So if you didn't know, now you know. That's some paid content for you right there. All right, y'all usually don't get that out for free. I'm gonna give it to you today. Kinetic chain should be in alignment when you're doing your squat. So if you didn't know, before you even pick up the weight, it's important to stand next to the bar. I always try to line my head right in the middle of the bar. So everybody who's used a traditional bar before, they had those little the cross marks, you know what I'm saying, on the barbell bar where your hands are supposed to go. You want to align your head directly in the middle of those two. You want your neck. Of course, your neck should align wherever your head goes. Your shoulders should be facing the bar. And of course, you want your pelvic hip complex, knees and ankles and feet to all align up so you're evenly distributed amongst that bar, right? Again, kinetic change needs to be aligned when you're dropping down. But ultimately, that's how you make sure that your quads and your glutes are doing the work and not the back. And that's how you increase efficiency, right? You want to make sure you're doing nice, clean reps, dropping down under control, exploding back up once you hit the bottom. And that is how you increase your efficiency and ultimately increase the weight while you're doing the exercise. Ultimately, you end up putting more pressure. If you don't do it correctly, you end up putting more pressure on the wrong muscle groups. You want to make sure you avoid doing that because then what you'll do is you'll actually start, you'll still, and I hate to say it like this, you'll still be able to move the weight. There was a long time, and saying up this to say, as a trainer, I still work on cleaning up my form every time I go to the gym, right? You can move weight even in using improper form. But saying all that to say, if you correct your form, imagine how much weight you could really move, you know what I mean? And how many reps that you could probably get, right? One thing that I personally am still working on, my deadlift, right? I try to clean my deadlift up at least twice a week just because that's something that I'm actively engaging in, something I'm actively working in, right? Even as I still clean my form up, I can still move 400 pounds. You know what I'm saying? And that's not with perfect form. But just think about it. If I can move 400 pounds multiple times with, kind of okay form, wait till when I hit that perfect form, when it's almost like Cell. Shout out to DBZ. When you get to perfect form, couldn't nobody, they had to make a new form, let Gohan get ascended in the wake. They had to kill Goku, you know what I'm saying? to kill Perfect Cell. You see what I'm saying? That's what your deadlifts could be like. You could be Perfect Cell, okay? They got to make a whole new character to get you out, anyways, to get you out the way. But
a lot of people did die. A lot of people get written off. They wrote
that's what I'm saying.
They treated like power. They treated like power. A lot of people got off of that show.
Listen, they was cleaning up a house on the Cell side.
Hey, not to mention, when they killed Android 16 and made him snap,
yeah,
they Gears of War curb stomped him. He said he smashed his face. Never mind. If you know, you know. But they stomped his face.
Listen.
He crushed his little chip too. Did he have a chip?
Listen, he was not coming back. Like they got it. Yeah, Android 16 is gone. All right,
he's gone. Oh my goodness.
But yeah, saying all to say, you want to make sure that you're hitting your form right so you can increase efficiency. All right. Moving on to my third point, and probably one of the most important, and one that I think gets overlooked a lot of the time when we're talking about form, because people are like, oh yeah, what can form really do for me? Yeah, it's gonna maximize my gains. It's gonna keep you from getting hurt. Okay. Reduces the risk of injury. Because guess what? If you're injured, you can't get any gains because you can't do anything. Okay. You need to make sure you do or implement proper technique just to make sure that you can come back the next day. Because what people don't realize is in the gym, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Everybody's trying to get stronger overnight instead of just coming back and putting work in every day. And that's what you really need to do. And reducing the risk of injury allows you to do that. Okay. Poor form increases the risk of injury as it places unnecessary strain on joints, tendons, and ligaments. Correct form helps distribute the load evenly across the body and reduces the risk of injury. Okay. Ultimately, you just make sure you don't hurt yourself. Again, as we're implementing these exercises, or I'm sorry, as we're completing these exercises, when you're doing your bench, your squat, your deadlift, it is very easy because they're compound lifts. For people who don't know, compound lifts are exercises that require more than one muscle group. Because they're compound lifts, if not executed correctly, it's very easy for you to hurt something that you need. Okay. You really, really, really need to take your time, reduce the weight. I know it's a lot of ego involved sometimes when it comes to weightlifting, especially particularly when you're getting into strength training or you're getting into hypertrophy or powerlifting where you want to, get out here and show everybody what you can do. I get it. But everybody that you know, anybody that you look up to that's lifted weights in their lifetime has started out where you are starting at right now. Okay. So saying all that to say, it is okay to put, 10 pounds on the bar and just work on your form. Then you work your way up till you get to, 135, your 225s, your 315s. Okay, it's okay. You need to get your form right because if you don't, you'll start creating muscular imbalances. You'll be uneven. You'll hurt yourself. You don't want to do that. All right. So take your time. Saying all that to say, even now, me getting to the point where I am, consistently 3, 4, 5 plates in, right? I still do a warm-up set. And what that does is that helps me align my body, make any adjustments based off of how I feel that day, make sure that my form and technique is correct, because it's important to not just run in there and just even though I know I can lift it, you know what I'm saying? Again, Murphy's Law, what can go wrong will go wrong. You need to make sure that it's almost like and I don't know how much about weapons I can talk on here, but for my people who need to tighten up shot groups, right? You know what I mean? For people who don't know or aren't familiar with guns and how that works, you gotta go to the range and practice with that weapon to make sure that you are capable or able to utilize it in that time of need, right? Because you're not gonna be in that training environment. You're probably trying to hit a target. The target's probably not gonna be stationary. You know what I'm saying? Your adrenaline's flowing. The only way you are able to execute under pressure is by practice, right? It's the same thing in the gym, right? When you get to the gym, it's time for execution. But the way you get to the point where you execute is by practice. You gotta put that time in. You gotta do those sets. You gotta do those warm-up sets. I've done literally before I even get to the point. Perfect example, bench press, right? I put on 135, which is my warm-up set, and that's not any shade towards anybody else, but that's what I do, right? I put on 135 and I do slow, controlled pause reps where I take the weight off, make sure that my my shoulders are in line, arch my back, what I'm saying? See how I feel that day, bring the weight down to my chest, wait 2 seconds, bring it back up, right? Make sure I'm following that radial pattern that I was just telling you, where it stops at my chest and ends at my nose at its height, because you want to make sure that you are aligned. So when you get to the point when you are putting 225, 315, 400 pounds on there, you need to make sure that you are lined up, because all those things, the slightest thing could throw you off. You can hurt your back. People don't realize bench press is also a really, it's a compound lift. As I stated before, you use your core on that. You even use your legs. Your legs are for balance. I don't know if you've ever seen somebody lift where they pick their feet up, you know what I mean, while they're bench pressing. If you have not tried that, that'll mess you up. It's a whole other level of work, right? 225 with your feet on the ground versus 225 with your feet on the bench is a whole different thing. All right, you got to put some work in.
Back to physics and gravity. I don't know if y'all understand how your weight, but now whatever. But yes, when you're lifting, the weight is going through your whole body, and since your feet are on the ground, some of the force is going down there. Once you take it off, it's just my bad in the mic, but it's go straight there. This is about physics. Y'all gotta look at some physics stuff. A lot of the issues is y'all understand.
Listen,
and then Mother Nature be screwing y'all, and it's like she undefeated. It's gonna happen every time. You be like, physics don't work this way. So
exactly, balance, core. You use more core strength with your feet off the ground. I challenge you, even if it's just 135, put two, put a plate on each side and lift your feet off the ground, and then try to do that same weight. Right? You got to use more core strength to keep yourself from falling over while completing the exercise than you would if your feet were on the ground. Right? Balance.
Yeah, even if you want to do like bench and press, usually people will have either someone hold their feet down, stay on the feet, or bench and press, bench and sit up and press.
Right.
Bench press and sit up when you bench and you sit up. When you sit up, because when you're all that force, all that weight is going down to your feet, and if you have nothing there, you have to be strong enough from your core or your legs to hold that force that's coming back. And if you're not, your body's just gonna throw itself, and so you need some weight there to take some of the force to redistribute it. Remember, energy cannot be destroyed, only transferred. And your body, the energy goes to your feet, and it needs to go to something else, or it's gonna come back up. It's gonna come back to you.
Exactly.
And it's instantaneous, because that's how it's instantaneous. It's instantaneous. There's no there's no 1 second pause when you see a chart where it shows how it flows like electricity. No, when you turn your light switch on, you know how it turned on right away. That's how everything else works. So that's stuff y'all gotta watch out for, especially on the injury side.
it's an immediate result. Like Corey
Yeah,
said,
it's not
either going up or it's coming down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and how about this? One of the reasons people get so hurt is because that energy, that force goes somewhere, and it could go to a particular part in your body that wasn't expecting it, and that's how you can get a significant injury. That's literally what happens. You break something, anything like that, the force, your body can't take it, and whether it's proper form or not, and then that's how you get an abdomen injury, your back, or any type of muscle, because that force went somewhere in your body right away.
Yeah,
right away.
As Corey was stating that earlier with the exercise with the accident with the clean. For people who don't know how a power clean works, it's literally momentum to get the weight up, especially as you start getting to those heavier weights. Anything over 200 pounds, I don't know if y'all lifted 200 pounds before on a barbell. When you get to that point where you have to clean 200 pounds, it's a jerking motion, literally. It's momentum, right, to get it up in the air. And it's how fast that you can flip the bar and get underneath it with stability and control and get it to that rest position where your wrists are bent back and on top, on your shoulders. You know what I mean? But you got to get that. And I don't know if you've seen it like done correctly, but when people execute it, they actually bring the weight up. And while the weight's coming up, they drop down underneath, and then they perform a full squat to bring the weight up. Right? That's how you compensate for the lift.
So their body can take the force. So their body force literally force. When you're talking about how the heavier weight they use so much more energy, that's literally the definition of force equals mass times acceleration. So you need more. The force needed to move this, right? If you mass equals force divided by acceleration, right? So so what you need, you got to move even faster, right? You can't, you're doing it at the bar, you can just slowly get it up, but you start getting to 200 plus pounds, regardless of how strong you are, the amount of acceleration, just straight up energy you have to execute instantaneously. My goodness. Yes. Y'all really be careful. People will get serious, and we'll be joking, but like you can seriously get hurt out here doing some stuff. That's why I say if you're just like doing like me, you're just trying to live longer. If you just don't hurt yourself, because you get hurt post 30. I'm telling you right now, you don't want the recovery process. You're better off. Just say you can bench press, 100 pounds, and your doctor says you're good. It's better off than being hurt, because when you get 60, 70, look. That's not the move. You don't want to be in a situation where, because you had some type of injury, right, in your early 20s or 30s, and you had to get some surgery, and now you get to 60, 70, 80, and now you got a significant issue. It's different if you're trying to make money, right, from a fitness standpoint. That's different. But if you just exercising to be healthy, if you're not trying to make no money off an athlete perspective or training perspective, the large weight stuff is just for the internet. I'm mean, to keep it a band with you, to keep it real. There's no need for it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Why are you trying to squat 500 pounds? Now, outside of pull-ups, outside of the hanging off of a cliff, you want to make sure you can get up. I can't think of too many extra, bench press. Sure, you might be under something, but I mean, some of the stuff is like you're not really squatting anything where you need 500 pound squat max. Like, what do you're probably gonna get up out of here if you're in that situation.
You'd be more likely to use a deadlift, in my opinion, than a squat, right? Unless I'm trying, like, let's say you're under something and I'm trying to get it off you, right? I'd probably do that motion. That's what I call a functional motion, right? And shout out, so way to bring that up, right? So perfect reason to make sure you're executing form right and doing the necessary lifts. Like Corey said, more like the things that you do in everyday life, those are called functional exercises, right? So I don't know if you shout out to your Apple Watch, right? You got strength training, there's functional strength training, and then, traditional strength training. Functional strength training is actual movements that are conducive to everyday life, right? So when you lunge, you squat, you know what I mean? You do motions where that have actually been used, and like hinging at the waist. Shout out to RDLs, Romanian deadlifts. Every time you pick something up, you are doing RDL, whether you realize it or not. You know what I'm saying? You got to bend down, you got to pick it up, you got to get back up, right? You're hinging at the waist. It might not be weighted, but you're still doing the motion, right? Right. So those are functional movements, and you do need to make sure that you're able to do those correctly. But as Corey stated before, there's absolutely no reason. I tell this for anybody, for general health and wellness, you do not need to. I even give you the cushion of 2 plates, 225. You don't need to go back to 225 on anything. I'm talking about deadlift, squat, bench, anything. You can do more reps. You can do as many reps as necessary, right? To get the strength, to get the gains, to get the endurance, to get the strength. You do not need to go past 225 pounds from a strength standpoint. If you do, you have surpassed regular health, fitness, and wealth at that point. You know what I mean? And now you're doing the internet stuff. That's Corey, explained before. And it's if that's the route you want to take, that's fine, right? But just know that you're outside the norm at that point. Most people. I looked at I gotta find the graphic, but I looked at a chart the other day, and it was talking about like men in particular, I think from ages like 10 to like 50, right? And the average I think is under 2. I think it's like 185 or something for bench press, right? Like most people can't hit 200 pounds. You can try to say so, and I'm not trying to take shots at anybody. I'm just saying that to say again, that's two plates is 225 pounds, and the average is 185 over a 50-year range of men. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like saying all to say, if you get above 185 pounds, you are surpass the average on the bench, right? And everything else is extra. Now you're just pushing yourself to see how far you can go, but you don't necessarily need that for general health and wellness.
Right. And as a quick caveat, so we save yourself for internet jerks out here. This is to avoid injury. This is avoid so you don't hurt yourself, not to not and get stronger and have new 1 rep maxes, but to avoid injury, because the rehab is worse and the rehab is harder as you get older. That's a fact. And you don't want to be in a situation where I know a lot of people right now, they didn't have surgeries from injuries in high school, things like that. And you good now, but as you get older, they can start telling you when it's about to rain.
Yeah. Yes.
I got a friend. He had
every time.
My man had 3 ACL surgeries in high school. 3 of them. Yeah. Look, I'm just, and those are injuries, and those weren't working out. I was playing the sport, but it's like, if you get something, I can imagine working out now. If I actually hurt my shit, if I had to get surgery now, I'd be so pissed. I'd be mad. I'd be so mad. I know the ramifications.
It's almost, you know what I mean? It heightens astronomically, especially when you hit like 30 and up, right? It's because your body. So for people who don't know, your body technically starts dying literally like right after your 21st birthday, right? I think that's the breakdown, right? Your body is technically growing until you hit 21, and after that, you're technically dying a little bit every day. I know that's kind of a dark way to put it, but when I say dying, like it's breaking down, it's degrading, right? So your bones are getting a little less dense. Your blood, when you get a cut, your blood clots just a little bit slower. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Your body is breaking down nutrients that it needs just a little slower, and this is every day after your 21st birthday. So saying all to say, you know what I'm saying? You have to be careful because your stuff that you know what I mean? Everybody thinks you're Superman until you get hurt, and you haven't gotten hurt in a long time. And then you realize how long it takes to get back, and that get back it's bigger than the physical ramifications now, because now it's mental, right? Because you like, oh man, something that took you out, for a week and a half or 2 weeks when you were younger, that's taking you out for 6 months when you're older, and it's mental. You never forget that pain, so now you start babying it, or not necessarily, again, muscular imbalance. You start compensating for it with other muscles. It's a lot of things that go into injury. So why put that unnecessary pressure on yourself? You can just avoid it altogether. Take care of your body. You know what I mean? This is one of those things where it's better to be proactive than reactive, right? You need to stop yourself from getting to that point, as opposed to getting to that point and then trying to fix it. I'm not saying that you can't come back. It's just it's a long road. That's why they have a whole specialty created. I'm sorry, specialty. That's a specialty. Specialty created to recovery and recovery. Yes, like recovery. Even then, there's a CPT subcategory created just for recovery and getting yourself together. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily your PTs. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, you got to make sure you're careful.
And speaking of that, also it costs. Healthcare is expensive in America. Then you have to spend money. By the way,
that finance time.
Shout out to the finance and fitness. Welcome to Cordan Full Effect. I see people out here talking about, yeah, man, you gotta get your health together. Well, Jordan, I've been told y'all should get both together at the same time. It's all good. It is what it is. Shout out to internet timestamps. You're gonna see we did it first. Regardless, medical care is expensive in America, whether we like it or not. And I don't know how much I think it's going to cost, but you're going to start getting you add surgeries, right? You got to get a surgery, then you got to do the rehab behind that, and you got to get back to work essentially before the surgery. My goodness,
listen, it's crazy.
My goodness. Yeah. So
it's it's one of those things. I think the rule of thumb is however much time that you spend out of your routine, it takes you. It takes a day. So if you're out for 6 months, it takes 3 months to get back to the point you were before you left. Right. And that's 3 months of consistent work. I'm not talking about 3 months. You know what I mean? So like that's if you went to the gym minimum 30 minutes a day or 5 times a week for 3 months, that would get you back to the point you were when you were out 6 months. And then your goal is not to get back, but you want to surpass that, right? So now you got to put in the work after the 3 months to grow. You see what I'm saying? It's like Cory be talking about, where it's like, oh, you lose the money, but you got to put in
compound interest. It's compound interest.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but it's
compound interest. It's outside of money. Yeah, it's outside. If you lose 50%, you can't get 50% to get back. If you're at $100 and you lose half of that, you're at $50. You then can't get a 50% return on 50 because that's only 25. You'd be at 75. You need 100% of 50 to get back your 50% loss. And that's what Jordan. It's just not math that way. And also, math is the only way where it's explicitly like that. That's talking about the compound interest on other things. You're talking about when now you're older, right? You didn't look, you as you said, you're dying more, right? You're probably dying faster. All these things stack on top of each other.
Yes.
Right? You got
diet, because let's not talk about the fact that everybody not eating the right stuff, but that's a whole nother, you know what I'm saying?
You might get a surgery where you can't eat, you might not be able to eat certain foods. Like, I mean, it just all stacks up on it. Then, you know, as you get older, usually your life gets busier. My goodness. Then you gotta go to work too, by the way. Make this.
Gotta make the money. So you can keep working out so you can afford the membership. Look at it. No, man.
Jordan said, shout out to FinallyFit.live, but even if you do get hurt, please do what you can to get your membership in place.
Please. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, and my goal in general, right, is I want everybody to stay around for a long time, right? I think we just when I say as a people, like everybody everywhere, right? We take our bodies for granted as if we have more than one. It's the only thing that's straightforward. You only get one body. I mean, science has come a long way, but I haven't yet to see anybody get a completely new body. You might get some parts, bits and pieces. You know, if God sees fit that for everything to line up that day and you to get a transfer, you know what I mean? Shout out to him, right? But if you don't, you get the body that you're born with is the only one you're guaranteed. Let's put it that way. So you have to take care of it. Again, being proactive versus reactive. And I always try to share my story. I had a reactive moment when I found out I had UC, right? That also took a lot to change my life. And I'll always say that because it made me realize that there are certain things that I was not going to be able to do anymore, or my standard of living would change, right? And it's like, I don't want to have, for people who don't know, people who continue to do whatever they want on UC or don't take any type of corrective action or don't change their lifestyle from a health and wellness standpoint, end up with a colostomy bag. I don't want a bag on my side where literally where you're you know what I'm saying? For people who don't know what a colostomy bag is, that's
so break it down.
Yeah,
break this shit down to
they pull out a portion of your intestines, right? And then they put a bag on that's external, you know what I mean? So it's a physical bag outside of your body that is attached to a hole that they place on the side, you know, where your intestines runs into, where your feces comes out, right? So instead of doing number 2 in the toilet, you don't do that no more. It comes out in a bag that you literally have to dump out on a daily basis, multiple times a day, sometimes depending on the size of the bag. So saying all that to say, that is the end result for somebody who doesn't change their lifestyle. So if you're going to tell me I got to live with a bag every day, I'm talking about every day of my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, quality of life changing. And all I got to do is go run every day and eat some fruit and vegetables. Oh, sign me up. I'll be outside at 5:30. You know what I'm trying to say? That's, but you don't want to be in those circumstances, right? I'm trying to help you before somebody has that conversation with you. You know what I'm trying to say? So lock in, take care of your body. That's why number 3 really resonates with me. You got to make sure you reduce the risk of injury and be a little proactive. I'm going to wrap these next 2 up in one because they kind of go together, right? So one thing that form impacts is improves posture and increases range of motion, okay? If you execute form correctly, what people don't realize throughout the day, a lot of us have desk jobs. I mean, even if you don't have a desk job, a lot of us slouch over while we're executing or doing whatever it is we need to do throughout the day. Proper form forces you to correct your posture. As I was just saying with the barbell squat, you want that C in your back, which causes you to sit up. You see, I just tightened up right there. Y'all probably didn't even know I was that tall sitting in this chair because I've been hitting this all day, right? You want to make sure that you're sitting up. It improves your posture. Posture actually increases blood flow because a lot of times as you're slouched over, you're limiting the amount of blood flow that goes to those extremities throughout the body. So it increases blood flow, increases blood flow and circulation are the same thing. It allows you again to maximize efficiency and gains. And it helps with alignment, which can lead to improved posture outside the gym and reduce pain and discomfort in the neck, back, and other areas, right? So if you're slouching over all the time, you got that back pain, that neck pain, that shoulder pain, it's probably because you are not either 1, not executing properly in the gym, or 2, you know what I mean? You're just slouching over all day, or 3, a combination of both. So please make sure that you're doing what needs to be done so you can make sure that you're getting all the proper benefits of improved posture, right? And then last but not least, that range of motion. From a flexibility standpoint, especially saying this as my 30th birthday is coming up, it's around the corner. Please make sure that you are maintaining your flexibility. It is very easy to become stagnant and complacent and not do anything, or in general from a fitness standpoint, but definitely give up on stretching because you feel like you don't need it anymore. Because think about it, when was the last time you ran full speed, right? You probably did that in a minute. But regardless, you still need to make sure that you maintain that range of motion and that flexibility. Because if there ever is a time where you do need that skill set again, or just need to use functional movements that you haven't done in a long time, maintaining mobility and range of motion will allow you to do those actions, right? What people don't realize is the body ages faster than the mind. in your head, at some point in time, you were able to do these miraculous, amazing athletic feats, and you still think you can do them, right? You in your head, you at some point, I guarantee somebody listening to this was a track star, right? And you ran an 11.3. So in your head, you can still sprint at 100 meters in probably, I'm not gonna say 11.3, but probably 12, 13 seconds, right? You think you think you're moving pretty fast. And I'm not saying that you can't do that, but the problem is, what are you going to have to do to your body after you do it to continue to, you know what I mean, to continue to live your life, right? Your body, if you have not sprinted in a long time, your body will be able to, generate that rate of force production, right, to get you up there. But I guarantee you, first of all, it'll be for half the distance. You're not hitting 100 meters. You might hit 50 before you pop a hamstring, before you hit a cramp, before something goes wrong, because you are not fueling your body or doing what it needs to do to maintain that range of motion, right? If you do not stretch daily, I'm talking about, and a shout out to the Fit Fan, we do dynamic stretching before and after every workout, because your body will tighten up when you, even during our exercises, you can start feeling the tension building up in your muscles. And in the cool down, I'm almost thankful sometimes when we do our deep squats, we do our, everything from head to toe, right? Depending on what the day is and what we're targeting, we try to make sure we target those specific muscle groups and, muscle groups and ligaments in particular, because you need to make sure that you're stretching them out afterwards to maintain that range of motion and that mobility. Okay, so please stretch it out. Make sure that you're maintaining, and those are the benefits of form in terms of workouts. Quickly, what are some ways to sharpen form? We talked about mobility, stretching, yoga, consistency. Consistency is probably the biggest thing to sharpen form, right? Do not get out here and stretch once a week and think that's about to make everything better. I do yoga, I think, more than I do, if not as much as I work out, probably more than I work out at this point, just because it's necessary, especially as I age. I told you, I'm getting into a new decade, new 30 to 40. I'm literally on every survey I take, I'm in a new bracket, okay? I got to check a whole new bubble now, all right? So that being said, I'm stretching more often, and the more often you stretch, the more, the easier it is to execute proper form when doing workouts. So please stretch. Do some form of yoga if you haven't. There's YouTube. YouTube has a lot of yoga for free. There's Pop Sugar. There's Pop Sugar is the name of a subscriber. I'm sorry, not a subscriber, provider on YouTube. I do a lot of their yoga. They have a whole variety of trainers on there. I do a lot of their yoga stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of different yoga flows. I'm not gonna get into that. I think I covered that in one of the earlier episodes. But shout out to yoga. Please get out here and move and stretch. I think I'm wrapping it up. That's it. Anything from me, Cory?
No, locked and loaded.
Let's go. On to, oh, you good?
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you're good.
Okay, on to the
finance section.
Let's go.
I guess I got that loop. You can clearly hear that you're pressing the button.
Oh no!
Oh my goodness!
I was trying to be quick with it. I was like, "Oh, they're not gonna catch me this time."
you can. The issue is when it's looping, it fully ends and start. Like it's not like a playback thing, so you can hear when you're stopping and starting.
I got you.
It's all good. Shout out to technology. It's 2023. That should be figured out by now. All right. First,
I got you.
Okay, good.
Finance question. Are
Let's
you ready
go.
for this? You good?
Yep.
How can couples grow well? I like this one. This is a good question. How can couples grow well, Cory?
How can couples grow well? Okay, hold on. All right. Shout out to everybody who watches Wealth Wednesdays. I know I struggle sharing my screen, but here we go. We're about to do it. Boom. Is it share? Let's go. I can see it. All right. This is from Finance Buzz. 9 top money moves for couples who want to grow their wealth. So if you don't want to grow your wealth, this is not for you. By the way, if you sometimes like what is wealth net worth. If you have kids and you have student loan debt, then your wealth should be higher than people who don't have kids and got student loan debt. I talked about that earlier on here. Okay, shout out to the student loan episode. But this is by Finance Buzz editor. Shout out to the fact that I can easily read this name. Okay, shout out to these all. Shout out to these all. Look, man, if you watch Wealth Wednesday, it's on the internet. Yeah. It'd be some crazy names on there. I'd be like,
it'd be like Jeff Schmeckeldorf. Yeah. Like, what, sir?
Yeah,
what?
Yeah, like who is this? Shout out to them. All right, this is from February 6th. Before I get started, shout out to this interracial couple. You don't even know she white. I mean, she don't know she black or she black and white. Regardless, shout out. I don't know if people know this, but this is due to Obama. When Obama came in office, all this started to change. Regardless, most of these 9 things, I bet you're going to be related to some type of debt payoff or some type of savings or investing. Because those are 3 major things that I always tell you can do on here, right? You're either going to save your money, whether it be for a down payment or emergency fund, something like that. You're going to do some type of debt management, improve your credit score, pay down debt, whatever it is. Then you're going to try to build wealth, investing, increase your income, et cetera, et cetera. There's only 3 major things. So if you're trying to do something else that aren't those 3 things, you're trying to do something that you can't do with your money. You're just making it more complicated than what it is. All right. So if you're looking ways to grow your wealth as a couple together, especially ways that don't take time away from each other. Here we go. How you trying to make more money? How you going to spend time trying to make more money, but you want to spend time together? You might just need to work together, right? We've compiled a list of great ideas to help you get started. And we're just not talking about traditional employment or freelance. You're not talking about employment or freelance. According to what we talk about, illegal. Remember, if you sell drugs, you still got to pay taxes on them. Shout out to the IRS. Below, you'll find a number of top money moves you can make starting today to help you grow your wealth together. Okay, ask this company to pay off your debt for your credit card. Before I even read this, I have not read this article. This is about to be wild as hell. Okay, if you have a lot of debt, getting out of it can feel stressful or nearly impossible. It does not feel nearly impossible. You just need to get on a budget, only pay for your necessities and debt payments, work the debt snowball where you pay off smallest balance to highest balance, not highest interest rate to lowest interest rate. Remember, by using the snowball method, you're going to pay off the smallest balance first, which is going to allow you to get those minimum payments back into your budget quicker, which is going to put you in a better cash flow position on a monthly standpoint as far as your budget. And a lot of the reason you're struggling financially is because you don't got no cash flow / money left over. You get some of these debt payments out of your life very quickly, then you have some cash flow to help you fend off having to use credit cards and tap into your emergency fund. You can just cash flow it out of your monthly budget. But here's the problem they're saying. The longer you put off tackling it as far as the debt, the harder it gets to fix. Yes, shout out to the compound interest. By the way, look at this, Jordan. Here's the problem. The longer you put off tackling it being debt, the harder it gets to fix. Shout out to these mother effing student loans. I swear to God. This is why I love the internet. You cannot write this stuff. This article is literally saying the longer you take to attack your debt, the harder it's going to be to fix it. And y'all ain't been doing anything with your student loans for over 3 years now. My goodness. I love this stuff.
And you've been spending the money and not saving it. Look at it, not even doing the right stuff with it. Look.
Yeah, look, if you agree that's going to be harder to pay off your debt if you don't, tackle it, then shout out to you doing all this damn forbearance. If you don't take control of it early on, again, attacking your student loan debt out the gate. By the way, the student loan information, Black people are the only people that I think after a year, we're the only ones that have more debt than we graduated with out of everybody too. It's some insane numbers out there. But if you don't take control of it early on, it can add undue stress to your life. Remember, you're not anxious and depressed. You're just broke. Stress, anxiety, depression, self-termination. You're struggling, anxiety, and depression. No, you got a lot of financial stress on your head. But if there was a way to get out of debt once and for all, what if there was a way? National debt relief could help. If you have more than 10K in goodness gracious, if you got more than 10K in credit card debt, that's your fault. Medical bills, collections, or personal loans. So not cars, not mortgages, not student loans. So the ones that people actually need forgiven. The representatives might be able to assist you. Okay. And this is going to this is a debt consolidation. They said they're going to pay it off. See, this is all I'm talking about.
This sounds like a plug. I ain't about to hold you. You know what I'm saying? How much did National Debt Relief pay to get this to be number 1 in this article? Anyways,
right. Like I said before I even read it, and I haven't read this before. Ask this company to pay off your credit card debt. I told you it's gonna be wild. They're not paying it off. They're doing a debt consolidation, so you're just gonna have one payment. I don't recommend doing consolidation. That is not the move. Best of all, there are 0 fees until your debt is resolved. What does that mean? So you're going to have fees once your debt is resolved, and you can be debt-free in 24 to 48 months. To get started, just answer some questions. Obviously, you got to contact them. National Debt Relief, no sponsorship, fair use. Don't do this. Don't do a debt consolidation. Most of the time, the interest that you would save is not going to impact your ability as far as your timeline to pay off the debt. So this is saying you can do this consolidation and pay off your debt anywhere from 24 to 48 months. If you weren't to do the consolidation, I guarantee you would still be able to pay off your debt from 24 to 48 months. So what are you improving on? The interest that you save is essentially negligible. All right, stop overpaying when you shop online. Shout out to Klarna and Afterpay and all these other people. Okay, shopping online has its perks. It's convenient. Instead of hunting for coupon codes that don't always work, through that, and opening tons of browser tabs, comparing prices. You can try Capital One Shopping. Again, no sponsorship. This is just a website. I guess it's going to give you browser extension. Okay, it's going to help you with coupons. Cool. So use coupons. That's all it's saying. Cancel your car insurance. I have not read this one either. This is against the law if you're going to drive a vehicle. Okay, two things. You can't operate.
What?
I haven't read this yet. Let me scroll up some so y'all can read ahead. Y'all can read ahead. I want to be very clear. You cannot cancel your car insurance if you plan on driving it on a road, on some state, government road. You have to have car insurance by law. That's why it's the first thing you pay for when it comes to transportation over your gas and your car note. Second thing, if you have a lien on your vehicle / a loan out in your car, you can't cancel the insurance because it's not yours. And the bank or whoever has that lien, the lien holder is requiring you to have that insurance. We got bad news. You're going to be wasting. This is probably going to tell you to get a different type of car insurance. It's all going to be sponsors for this. This is probably all going to be sponsorships. Okay, you could be wasting $500 a year overpriced car insurance, second-rate car insurance. You should probably cancel your existing one right now. Don't cancel it. You never want to have a lapse in coverage. You will get a new one, then cancel. The new tool from Finance Bus can tell you if you're overpaying. They match drivers companies that report. Again, they're going to tell you to get some new car insurance. That's all that's telling you to do. So these headlines, man, talk about fear, uncertainty, and doubt. My goodness. Pause interest payments until November 24th. This is what we talk about, Jordan. Hold on, y'all. This is what we talk about. This is why you need to listen to me. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, so let's read this. This Finance Buzz article. Now, to give them credit, it said multiple editors did this. It says by Finance Buzz editors. So multiple people could have written these sections. However, in their first one, they say, here's the problem when it comes to debt. The longer you put off tackling it, the harder it gets to fix it, and it being debt. Then they're telling you 3 sections later, pause interest payments until November 24th. Wouldn't that be making it longer to tackle the debt? These things are so conflicting on these articles. This is why I do them live, and so y'all can see the BS. And this is why y'all be struggling, because y'all be listening to the wrong people. They just contradicted themselves. They're telling you to pause your payments, but then they're going to tell you it's going to be harder to tackle your debt if you pause your payments. So which one is it? Which one is it? Which one is it?
It's a consolidated, don't pay it, and then almost fees after the 48 months.
Oh my goodness. So it's saying imagine getting 18 months, right, with 0 interest on balance transfer. Okay, sounds great. Okay, wait. So now they're telling you the balance transfer is not a good thing. What if you could do extend the intro APR by an additional 3 months, making on-time minimum monthly payments? It's possible. Okay, this is Wells Fargo Reflect Card. Again, no sponsorship. If you want to kick high interest credit card debts to the curb, this one to lean. Okay, this is another balance transfer. My goodness, so many promotions. This is 4 in a row. They're saying there's no annual fee for this card. After the intro period, though, for purchases and balance transfers, APR goes from 17.49 to 20. Oh my God. Excuse me for yelling. 30%. It's variable 30%. They can get up to 30%.
That's a robbery. That's nuts.
I don't know if y'all know, but 30% is almost a third of 100. Do you know how much that is? That's 30% interest. This is why I don't recommend doing the debt consolidation. Also, the simple logic, they're not going to make any money if nobody pays any interest. A lot of the ways banks make money is by us paying interest to them. If most people are paying off their debt within the 21 months where you're getting the 0% APR, if most people do this, pay it off in under 21 months, then the bank's not going to make any money. They won't be able to offer these services to you. So that means most people are in this situation. And if you average out all your debts pre-consolidation, it's definitely going to be less than 30%. My goodness, you got to be a scammer to get debt interest rate this high. So you got to break the law to get your interest rate this high, because eventually they're not going to give you no debt to get your interest rate this high from a bad credit score standpoint. It's just not possible. My goodness. Borrow up to $50K to finally crush your debt. What? This is a contract.
Borrow up to $50K to crush your debt. How do you borrow? Don't I owe somebody else $50K? What?
This is why I say pull up your bid. So borrow and debt is the same thing.
That's where we at.
Yo, I want to be very clear. Don't take this advice to nobody. I just may have to pull up your Mint little story highlight to on my Instagram. Again, 2023 is the last year you should take advice from anybody on the internet if you can't readily see what they're giving you advice on. They're telling you to borrow up to $50K to crush your debt. So you got $50K in debt, borrow it somewhere else. All this is another balance transfer or consolidation. That's all this is. Looking for some cash to pay off your credit card debt? If you need $50K to pay off your credit card debt, you have other issues. You need to go to rehab. I wonder if they offer that. They should be offering financial rehab because that's what y'all need. Maybe I should look into that. A personal loan could help. When I say look into it, not for myself, you jerks. Look into it to start it as a business. Our partner, again, another partner, bro, at AM1, no sponsorship will match you with loan providers to fit your specific needs. So if they're going to tell you to get another loan, I'm just going to skip past this. Don't do that. Prepare for market volatility by diversifying with gold. All right, shout out to investments. For those you want to invest in precious metals, you can invest in gold in the sense of if you believe it's going to help hedge against inflation and things like that. and they're telling you, okay.
No, I was gonna say, but doesn't the value of gold fluctuate based on the market? Because I'm pretty sure gold. I mean, it's not as volatile, right?
Yeah,
but it still goes up and down, right?
Yep, it goes up and down too. Yep, exactly. Yep. So
Gotcha.
there's no. I mean, there's some people who do. I mean, shout out to richest man in Babylon. In short, and if you don't know this, you were talking about fiat currency. The real currency, and can't cancel me when I say this. The real currency is I can kill you or you can kill me, and that being 300 is the best example. They showed up and say, hey, we need y'all to do this. They said no. They said, okay, we're gonna come back and kill you, and then we'll force you to do it. That's the real currency. Okay, that's how it works. However, then we have a barter system or exchange of goods and services where we say, hey, I'm just being real with it.
I get it, but you just told me I gotta die to trade. What is it?
Nah, so what happens
I get what
is,
you're saying. I get what you're saying. You saying comply or die. I got it.
Yeah, and society has gotten more civilized. That's an uncivilized time period. And as we got more civilized, we have a better barter system or exchange of goods and services. Now, in short, we agree, right? We all agree that dying is the biggest. If you get, I'm not going to trade my life, right? Give my life, right? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to give you money, trade, right? Use those same type of phrases or terminology when we talk about passing away. That's why it's the exact same way. But things are more civilized now. So now we agree on some type of currency, whatever it is. But in short, if everything goes to crap, people are going to trade gold. But it don't matter if you have gold, because I can just do what? I can just kill you and take your gold. So if you don't got the protection in place, all this type of stuff really doesn't matter. So in short, if you're someone who wants to have all this gold, but you're anti-Second Amendment, the people who exercise their Second Amendment are going to take your gold if it comes down to that point. Okay, so that's why you have to understand how things really work. Yes, we got this, nice little society set up where we can exchange goods and services, in a more civilized way. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to diversify from a market volatility, and I'm saying this, bro, because people who normally want to do gold is so like if everything crashes and burns. I don't know what people think is going to happen if America goes away and you're in America. I don't know if you, I don't know if y'all study the.
Wouldn't we be in the crash and the burn? I'm just look at it. Something got to crash and burn with it. Look at it.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that way. I mean, if you study. I mean, shout out to Germany in the 40s with that bad guy, but they all went away. Imperialist Japan, they go away. If you lose the war, whoever was in charge on the loss goes away. They go away, usually in the form of death. By the way, that's the.
It's not like, oh, we lost. Let me go get my gold reserves. Like, yeah, right. Okay, good luck. If you still have them, whenever the result is the result, you know what I mean? So.
Right, exactly. And that's where allies come into play, right? Well, if you come attack me, I got people who are going to come, on my behalf and protect me. So is that going to be in your best decision? All that stuff is at the root, right? Root of everything. And so people were talking about doing gold is for, some type of fallout, video game, nuclear type of stuff. But, it's going to be just like Book of Eli. It's going to be Wild Wild West, which we already had, by the way, like literally. I remember the Wild Wild West in America, y'all, cowboys and stuff. That's what it was. They was out here doing whatever they want. And then eventually they got more civilized. So that's just going to how it works out here. They're saying you can use their capital to use it. What they're saying, they have AAA rating, which is good, and they make it simple to transfer from your current retirement account. Woo, they're telling you can take money from your 401k or your IRA into a precious metal IRA. I don't know about that. 24-hour risk-free purchases. If you believe in gold, again, not investing advice. If it's something you believe in, then obviously you'll invest in it. If you don't, then you don't. Now it's telling you we got 3 more left. Get up to 10K, 50K, not 1, not 2, 100K, not another loan, not more debt. Remember I said this is going to talk about, what is this article? 9 top money moves for couples. This is not it. This is not. These are not going to help you grow your wealth. A lot of these involve you taking out debt and doing balance transfers. Oh my goodness. You can take out a home equity or a HELOC. Congratulations. I discussed that many times on here. HELOC is a line of credit, so essentially like a credit card. So you can take out, 10K HELOC. You can take out 5 and pay it back, just like a credit card. Home equity loan is one big disbursement of $10,000 in short. Recommend don't refinance in your house or taking out a HELOC or home equity loan for your primary residence. You got to pay it off. You don't want to do a mortgage, aka a death pledge. A lot of you got a 5-year or 30-year. You pay on for 5 years, and you do another refinance for another 30 years. So now you got to take 35 years to pay off your home. Don't recommend doing that. Investment properties, different primary residence, recommend you pay it off as aggressively as possible once you're locked in on your investing and got your kids and things like that set up from an investing standpoint. 529s, ESAs. Earn $200 cash rewards, bonus with this. What's $200 going to do to help you grow wealth, Jordan?
Absolutely nothing.
It's $200 you didn't have before. That's all it is. It's another. Okay, Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. Again, a sponsorship. You get $200 cash rewards. Okay, cool. That's it. I thought it was 9 things. It says 9, right?
They didn't even get to the 9th thing.
No. Hold on.
To the 9th thing.
No, wait.
Now Corey doing
I'm doing
a
a search right now for number 9.
All the 9s.
No. Okay, wrap up. All right, okay.
All right.
Again, Finance Buzz article by Finance Buzz editors, 9 top money moves for couples who want to grow their wealth. Last edited on February 6, 2023. I don't recommend doing any. I don't think any of these things on here I would recommend. Don't do a balance transfer. Oh, no, okay. Number 2, coupons. Yes, use coupons. Yes, discounts. Shout out to those. Don't cancel your car insurance. This one you can do, right? Don't do what they said as far as the title. But if you want to look into getting, lower car insurance rate, okay. Don't pause interest payments. No. Don't borrow debt to crush your debt because that's not how it works. If you want to invest in gold, go ahead. That's not on my track. Don't do home equity or HELOC, and don't get the credit card for $200. So 2 out of 8. So that's one. That's what was that? That's 1/4. So I agree with 25% of this. I don't know where the 9th one is. They might have deleted it from this edit and they forgot to make it 8. So all that. Oh my goodness.
Go ahead. I'm just.
No, I'm just saying. I know we're trying to wrap up. All that to say, this is why I do the stuff live. I don't do any articles ahead of time. But my guess is Finance Buzz is a little bit more popular than the Cordan Full Effect podcast, and they get more eyes on that than we do on our stuff. But if this is the majority of information that's out here, as far as financial information, what's going on, man? What's going on? But all right, y'all, locked and loaded. You gonna do your recap? Oh, you said you gotta go.
Nah, I do gotta wrap it up. But I'm gonna just say for the fitness section, it was how does form impact your workouts and what are the ways to sharpen your form. Form is the technique in which exercise is executed. There are several ways how form impacts, but I'm just running through them really quickly. As far as it reduces injury, it allows mobility in. Sorry about that. It decreases injury. It allows for a greater range of motion, improves posture, increases efficiency in terms of gains, and it targets the right muscle groups. So make sure that you are executing your form properly when doing your workouts. And ways to sharpen your form include yoga, for other forms of various stretching, consistency in those forms of stretching. Okay, make sure you do it more frequently than you have been doing. If you're not doing it at all, make sure you're doing it. Okay.
All right, and then real quick to wrap up, look, don't do any of the things on that Finance Buzz article outside of coupons and looking to do better, get lower car insurance. Don't do balance transfers. He lost home equities. If you disagree, come up here, pull up your mat. All right, locked and loaded. I know Jordan's on mute. Again, all of our information is in the show notes. Jordan is Stop Stalling J, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. FinallyFit06 Instagram, FinallyFit on Facebook, FinallyFit.live for his website. I'm Cory, _Cory, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Financial coaching, $50, 1 1-hour session a week, $100 for up to 1 1-hour session. 1 1-hour session a week for $100. $50 is 1 1-hour session a month. All right, all this information is in our show notes. Again, _Cory. Jordan is Stop Stalling J. All right, anything else, bro?
No, sir. I think we
got. All right, we have to leave. That's why we're wrapping it up. Look at the show. Look in the description. Look at the description. All right, y'all. You good?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, remember to save more and say less,
and keep making better your best.
And we will catch y'all in the
next one.